Going to talk about one of my favorite projects, particularly because it's in the decentralized finance space and it's on one of the top layer ones out there. Real quick, some housekeeping, and then we'll get to the multiples that we think this might be actually able to do. Disclaimer, big dumb animal here, don't copy me. Entertainment only, not financial advice. Always do your own research. Did you know you can buy crypto in a tax-advantaged IRA with iTrust Capital? Free setup, $100 bonus with this QR code or the link in the description. I've used them for nearly 4 years. Love how I break things down? Then hop into my crypto school. You'll get step-by-step courses on everything. Buying, selling, staking for yield, borrowing, lending, even going fully debanked. Plus, join lively crypto chats and catch my daily market updates. And lastly, if you just want to help support the channel, there's a join button just below this video. So we're going to do 3 things. First, we're going to get into the basics about it. It's called Bonzo Finance. It's BONZO is the token. Then we'll talk about, and that'll be in the timeline and the website. Secondly, vaults. That's why I'm doing the video today. I always like to do a video if there's a good reason to. I did one just recently on what was called Saucer Swap, which is decentralized finance on Hedera. I'll show both and explain both in a moment. And I did that one because soon they're going to be redoing their website, app, some major changes. And I thought I'd like to bring it to you all. I've talked about Sauce many times in the past, but I thought I might as well talk about it before that happens because sometimes that's a nice bump in price. I think what Bonzo is going to release, what they call vaults, and I'll explain them in a moment, is going to be huge for them. Lastly, we'll look at some predictions based on last market bull run cycle in this exact space. So let's get started. You can see here, this is the chart and it's gone up quite a bit, but I still think it's a huge opportunity. Bonzo, you click bonzo.finance, I have a link below. You click, it'll bring you into the website itself. Just a couple things up here. Now there are many others like this on different layer ones, meaning borrow, lend. So before we get into the site itself, here's why we're looking at it. In all of the cryptos by market cap, Hedera is number 16. It's getting a lot of momentum. In the last 90 days, it's gone up 40%. So that is a layer 1. That is a foundation. We go over to DeFi Llama, which shows us in the decentralized finance space what's built on the various layers. Here's Hedera. We go down, I've shown this before. Saucer Swap is the number 1 decentralized exchange where you can basically swap different coins on that layer 1. I'm simplifying it. Bonzo, they call it lending, borrow, lend. They also think of themselves as the liquidity layer because of things like the vaults and the additional functionality that they're adding. So in terms of decentralized exchanges, usually have number one on each layer 1. That would be Sauce. In terms of the lending and liquidity layer, that's the number 1 on Hedera is Bonzo. That's why we're excited about it. In terms of Hedera, 136 million TVL, total value locked on chain. You look at Bonzo, it's 53 million of that. On the right-hand side here, you can see how much and the trajectory of when it's been added. It was launched just in 2024. It's gone up significantly. That's in terms of US dollars. Sometimes shows a little more volatile depending upon the underlying assets. You look at it in terms of H-bar, and it's still up and to the right with a nice pattern. So back to the site. You come into the site and you see the various assets or tokens. You can either put them up as collateral, or you can borrow against that collateral. Decentralized finance, in my opinion, is going to be one of the largest crypto spaces, at least at the outset. Of course, AI and other things are coming. They're very important. But the first mover, if you will, is decentralized finance in terms of the amount of money that has come on chain, been turned into stable coins and crypto, and then used to stake for collateral, taking loans against, you name it. It's going to give traditional finance a run for its money. So here you can see each asset. You can see how much has been supplied. You can see how much has been borrowed. If you supply it, it tells you what percentage rate you'll return. If you borrow, it tells you what percentage rate you're going to pay. These are variable, and there's reasons why. Up at the top, it just, if you were to connect your wallet and supply, I don't have my wallet connected here, but I use it, and I've been using it since day 1 it started. Actually, before the token, back in 2024, you can supply assets, you can borrow against the assets. You can see their analytics, We'll look at that in a second. Look at stake. So you can actually stake Bonzo and you can receive a yield, 8.46%. You'll get back what's called X Bonzo. Now, of course, you can put Bonzo in as collateral, or you can just stake it. Analytics, 70 million at the moment when I recorded this, value locked. That's significant because they were just launched not that long ago. Stable coins they use as a separate metric here. Why? Because stable coins are very important to a decentralized finance ecosystem. A lot of people, myself included, prefer to take a loan as a stable coin because it's more stable when you pay it back. There are reasons why you might want to take a crypto if you're trying to short or long the market, but in terms of just taking a loan and knowing that you just have to pay that amount back, it's going to be stable coins. Very important. Okay, so straightforward, and then points. You can earn points because they have a system where you earn points when you put collateral in or you borrow. Why? Because when they first started, that's how they got people incentivized to put money onto the protocol. Let's look at, now this to me is very interesting. So I've been talking about them since 2024. The website went live and the service in October of 28th. They launched what's called their mainnet, no longer in testing. They launched with $1 million in assets. They quickly got 5 million in a very short period of time. They had to acquire a certain amount in assets before they could start allowing loans. October 28th, 2024, users were enabled to supply assets as collateral. Those were all the various ones. And then in December 11th of 2024, that's when they hit liquidity thresholds. So it was literally just 1 month. And they hit the amount of money they needed to start giving loans, which everyone was shocked at. They grew fast. And then the token for Bonzo, you see it here, BONZO, was only available in February of 25 this year, only a couple months ago. The market cap of the token, $12 million. The current market cap is only $12 million. As you saw, they have 70 million value locked. Some of these websites take a while to update. It says 56 here, but as you saw live, it's 70 million. Fully diluted value, take the price of the crypto coin itself, times all of the coins, it's 400 million max supply, fully diluted 50 million. To me, decentralized finance, #1 liquidity provider on one of the top layer ones, 50 million in my opinion is very small. That's why I've been talking about this one for so long. So here it is. This was the first day it launched. Went sideways for a while. It's really taken off recently. I still think it's a great value. Bonzo vaults. This is what I wanted to talk about. So you saw the site. You understand. Put some collateral in, gain a yield. If you want, you can borrow against your collateral. Now, why would people do that? If you believe, let's just look at something like Bitcoin or any other crypto, if you want to hold it for a long period of time, because you believe it's going to continue to go up in value. If you didn't think it was going to go up in value, you would just sell it and then take the money and the proceeds. But if you think it's going to go up in value, say, you know what? I want to take a little money out, but I don't want to sell that asset. I think it's still going to run. So I'm going to put that in as collateral. So I still own it. I can take it out at any time. And then I'll take USD or whatever currency you want to take out as a stable coin, convert it and put it in my bank account and use it as fiat, regular currency for whatever I need it for. I'll take a loan against my asset. That's what really wealthy people do. When you sell an asset, typically you're going to pay taxes. If you don't sell the asset and you take a loan, well, you're not paying taxes. Of course, you got to pay it back. But when it comes to, and I've done courses on this, you can see them in my school, you don't have to pay any minimum payments. You don't have to pay any interest payments. It will accrue interest, but as long as it's going up in value and you're within the threshold, you don't have to pay it back. You'll pay it back with future earnings. Okay, vaults. Vaults, mark my words, are going to make, in my opinion, Bonzo Finance blow up. Here's what they do. You may not realize this, but if you're into crypto, you're going to already know this. If you're not, here's one thing you'll slowly learn. As you go to various sites, whether it's Aave to put in some Ethereum and earn 1%, whether it's Bonzo to put up Hedera, HBAR, and other HBAR projects and earn 1%, you can move your money around fairly easily and quickly. Now, this is very different than going to your bank and getting a CD. And now you got to wait 3 months because your money's locked up. Well, with crypto, you don't have to do that. You can put it in, you can take it out. Oh, wow, they're giving 5%. Well, now I see this other opportunity giving 7. I want to move it over there. Oh, well, now there's something else. And the other thing you can do is you can loop it. So you can stake and you get a crypto back. You can take that crypto you got back, you can provide it as collateral. So you can earn and double earn. You can loop it again and again. It can get very convoluted. Just know that decentralized finance has many more opportunities than traditional finance and banking. It's complicated. It takes time to learn, and then it takes constant management because rates are variable. So in essence, what they're doing is they're saying, all right, instead of each one of us, 10,000 people, each managing and moving to various strategies, they come up with what they call a vault. And that vault is where we can deposit our money and take it out. When it's in that vault, it's being managed by a particular strategy. So they give a couple examples here. Saucer Swap has what's called liquidity pools. And they talk about how one vault could set ranges, maintain liquidity concentration, maximize user yield, improve market efficiencies. Another one talks about supplying LSTs into a lending pool. Bottom line is, instead of you having to every night look at your wallet, look at the protocol that you put it in, see if it's earning the yield, determine if you've looped it properly, whatever it may be, it's going to do it for you. So theoretically, I'm going to look and say, if I put my money right there, I'll get 5%. If I put it in this vault over time, look, they're averaging like 13%, whatever it may be. And the strategies will have different amounts of risk, and they'll tell you what they're doing and how they're doing it. But to me, that's amazing. I've been doing this for quite a while. Moving things even to different chains, moving things into different protocols, liquidity pool, all this complicated stuff will be gone. You just deposit into a vault. They take care of it. You remove it whenever you want. That's the basics. They're auditing some of their vaults. They're going to come out with some initial ones. They don't have an exact date yet, but that will be soon. So I'm bringing this to you in this video on Bonzo yet again to say they have something big coming up. Consider getting in. Again, you have to make your own decisions, do your own research. So now we're going to look at predictions, the third part. Where could this go? I used AI to help me out. Basically said, in the last bull run, we believe we're going into one now, that was around 2021. Which of those cryptos were in a similar space to Bonzo, meaning the borrowing and lending space? And how did they do from their lowest point to their highest point? Are most people going to buy at the low and sell at the high? No. Honestly, I've never done it. Sometimes I buy at the low. Sometimes I sell at the high. Just pure luck. But you got to have apples to apples to compare these. Here's what it did. It came up first column with Aave, Compound, MakerDAO, Anchor, and Larix. The lowest price during that time is in this column. The highest price is in this column. What percentage gain was it? Here it is, 2,400, 1,388. It's by the size of the gain, the largest gain at the top. It was anywhere from almost 1,000% to 2,500%. We always think about that in terms of multiples, a 2x, a 4x, an 8x. So here you go, multiple column. It was between 10 and 25x. Now, here are the two columns we're going to care about. If we put a $1,000 investment in at Bonzo's lowest price, which was about 2.5 cents, now it's a little over 10 cents. But we're using the low of all of these, so we're going to use the low of that. If you would put $1,000 in, 25,000, 13,000, all the way down to 10,000, because it's somewhere between a 10 and a 25x. On this column here, it basically says, well, you put 1,000 in and you made 10,750. 1,000 was your capital, so here's your profit. So we're saying here's the hypothetical profit. So it's anywhere between a 10 and a 25x. Personally, and this is just me, last total market cap was around 3 trillion. I've seen many predict that it can get between 9 and 12 trillion, the total market cap. So there's a significant amount of money coming in. Of course, there's probably more crypto available to even purchase. So where it goes and how it works out, I don't know. But I would not be surprised if decentralized finance does extremely well. And personally, I wouldn't be surprised if something like Bonzo does way better than the borrow lend did even last time, because that was 4 years ago. A lot has changed since then. Bonzo is listed on CoinGecko. They don't have it on CoinMarketCap. I don't know why, so I find it here on CoinGecko. Again, market cap 12 million, fully diluted 46 million. They already have 7 million locked up. Their token was just released in February. They've only been live since October 28th of 2024, not even live for a year, and they've got 70 million locked up. They're on what I believe is one of the best layer ones, Hedera. And from past experience, although that's not going to be predictive of future, but those past borrow lends did somewhere between a 10 and a 25x. I'm a big believer. They have Friday calls. They have, from what I can see, an excellent management team, an excellent development team, constantly iterating, in great communication with everyone. If you follow them on X, I believe they're on Discord as well, and you can follow those Friday meetings. As always, have a great day. I hope this was helpful. Hope we can all make generational wealth together with crypto.